Feel free to skip forward when things happen, or stick around as I get the stream started. Know what I'm saying? What up, Jeff? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good today. I need to go advertise myself in places. One second, just getting things set up, everyone. Kind of ish. It'd be how it do. Where's it? It's good enough. Hello, the last cast and board rubber. Work is slow. It's well, if it's slow, it's a good time to watch some good old stream goodness, right? Getting started pretty soon. Here, this camera is on, sweet. Yeah, it's straight enough, right? Straight enough. Weekend's almost here. Anyone have any exciting weekend plans? Guess I should probably maybe get some accent light going on. Too much. Nope. Okay, I'll live with it. Hello, Shinmaster. Hope you're doing good today. Hope everyone's doing good today. More work. That weekend life. I can relate. Thanks for the follow, Wanderer. Hey, thanks for the subscription with Prime Gaming as well. Did I do that enough times? Wanderer. 3 years. Gotcha. Nothing really, just relaxing. That's a good way. I'm hoping I have time on a Sunday morning. I think I'm waking up early and going on a nice either a nice bicycle ride, or a nice motorcycle ride. I haven't decided which two-wheeled adventure I want to go on yet. We'll see. But that's my only thing I have going on for Sunday of rest and relaxation. I have a decent amount of work stuff Saturday, and a lot of keyboard stuff Saturday. Either Saturday or Sunday night, I'll also be doing a new episode of The Cool Board. Will be season 3, episode 2. So, hope you guys are around for that. Hello, Romance TZZZ. Good to see you. Hope you're doing A+ today. Hope you're doing A+. I'm ready to be productive-ish. Productive enough. Deskey domes. Got the got the Novatouch one-off colorway, you know, beautiful. The Aperture colorway. It's a nice textured powder coat finish. Look at this. I love this. Love this. Have I fully tried out Gat Caps? I have not fully tried that out yet. PR. Not yet. Yep, it's the we got the Novatouch sliders. The Novatouch we all know and love. East Coast struggles. Good to see you, Franco. That is definitely a East Coast struggle. Oh my goodness, it's like 11 o'clock now for you. What are you doing up still? You don't. I hope you don't work tomorrow or late work tomorrow. But yeah, we got a touch of the Nova going on, right? Let me just put this over here. Hello, Olivia. Olivia, what are you doing up, Olivia? You're super busy this week. It's late. What are you doing? What are you doing, bud? Good to see you, though. I guess we should start with taking the keycaps off. I love this keycap puller. It was made by a friend. They just had they got some Swiss Tools screwdrivers, and they took out the driver part and made it keycap puller. See, it was originally a Phillips head, pH 0/60 size 0. They're like, nah. What needs to be in here instead is a keycap puller, and I love it. What am I drinking? I am drinking some absolutely delicious Kirkland sparkling water, lemon flavor, baby. Woke up from a nap, too tired. Ooh, you just woke up from a nap? Ayah. Hello, Mr. Spaceman. It's morning for you. What part of the world are you at right now? Are you what? That's Australian-ish time, New Zealand time, maybe? If it's morning. We're just close to lunch over there, depending on where would else? Is that where it'd be in the morning? 9:30 a.m. in India. Okay, yeah. If it's like lunch in Australia, that makes sense. Morning in India. Well, good morning to you. Hope you have something. Hope you have something delicious to eat if you haven't already eaten. When y'all eat breakfast, do you all prefer to have like a nice early breakfast at like 7, 8, or do you all like having like a closer to brunch kind of? Olivia, what are you talking about? It's right here. Don't worry. This is still the same Hue you know and love. We're just not starting off with it just yet. Don't worry. This isn't Twilight Zone Huey. The second cup of coffee? Hell yeah. I forgot what random documentary or food thing I was watching. I know in some parts of India, for like they have like there's a lot of places of like lunch services where like they'll have like a ton of couriers and they'll just deliver like boxed lunches out to people, and then they'll pick them up later in the day, or people can like drop off the boxes after work or something. I always wish I had something like that. What caps are these? These are OEM Cyrillic Novatouch caps, actually. Yeah, these are from a Cyrillic, because yeah, this is your OEM keycaps, Cyrillic. Actually from a Novatouch, well, because it's on a Novatouch. That's in Bombay. It's called a Tiffin service. Mad. Yeah, I remember seeing some videos about that, and it's crazy. How do you organize that many food deliveries in like such a precise time, or precise schedule of time for people to have lunch, finish the lunch? Because it's like while they're dropping off one set of lunches, they're picking up another set from people who just finished lunch. It's wild. Yeah, that's a crazy organization. Man, I wish things were this organized here. I can like just have food delivered to me while I'm working. I hate that like half my lunch break is going to get food. You can only drink coffee after lunch, not a morning person. Nice. Any of y'all like big coffee folk? I know a lot. There's for some reason there's a huge crossover in the keyboard community between like people who are really into fancy coffee and keyboards. I like tea better as well. I like black tea a lot. Black tea's my favorite. You know, a nice Earl Grey. Coffee equals life. Hello, Kool-Aid, Papa. Oh man, either my OBS statistics are wrong or I totally lost popularity. It looks like it went from like 22 viewers to 14, but it happens. You like coffee? Not? I'm kind of the same way, right? Like I can appreciate fancy good coffee, but you know, if it's just a cup of Joe, then it's just a cup of Joe. Thanks, Board Robert, for that tier 1. Robert, what's that familiar from? Wasn't Robert the name of Picard's brother from Star Trek Next Generation? Was it? If anyone watches Star Trek, am I right? That sounds right. Yes? Okay, thank you. That was Brother Robert in the Chateau Picard. He was married, had a kid. Okay, cool. Oh, this is he had a little nephew. We don't talk about Star Trek Picard here. It's, as far as I know, Star Trek Next Generation ended. None of the movies are canon. It just ended on, what was the last episode called? What is it called? I forgot what the last episode was called. But that for me was where Next Generation ended. That, right? Like, oh god, totally forgot all those screws aren't magnetic. They didn't. Okay, well 1, 2, 3. Let me pick up the screws that just fell out. Freaking scared myself. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm missing one screw. Got it. Okay. No lost screws, everyone. First contact was, it's alright. And, oh my god, Nemesis? Oh my god. So bad. Hello, Peter Poppins. The build for today, I'm just going to be putting some Deskey pink domes into my Norbauer. Nice and simple day. Nothing too fancy, nothing too exotic. Hope you're doing A-okay today. To be fair, I mean, like, the money had to have at least been decent for all the movies, because, like, you can tell, like, the last, we're doing pinks today, the last 2 seasons of Next Generation, most all the actors just, like, checked out at that point. They're like, yeah, pays the bills. The Topre, the conundrum is still running. It's running until, mid-February. I mean, it does come with, housings and domes and sliders, all the Niz ones, so come on, stop being difficult and just eyeballing it through. Okay, that's fair. Here's the thing, like I think about, like, I'm gonna keep talking about Star Trek, I guess. We're never gonna have, like, Star Trek as Star Trek was ever again, right? Because obviously, you know, I think Star Trek Picard, the new Star Trek Picard show is a piece of shit. I also think Star Trek Discovery is also a piece of shit. And like we're never gonna have like original how Star Trek used to be, where it's like where we don't need to end in some crazy dumb fight with a million spaceships and lasers. Different times, yeah. Gotta prep for work? Yeah, I'll be here in 30 minutes still. I'll be fiddling with the domes. I'll be struggling. Yeah, different times indeed. If you ever work with Topre, I always recommend getting an electric screwdriver because it's going to make life way easier. So I do have the Deskey silencing rings in this Novatouch. So also everybody sounds decent. Hello, Jerk Chicken. Good to see you. Hope you're doing A-OK today. Ooh, Jay. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Hope you're doing A+. Let's get in some games of Valorant sometime in the future, yeah? Which model? This is the ES-126, which is the newest one. There's only like a few US sites that have them in stock. I got this from like Go FPV, which is an FPV drone site, but they just they just happened to be one of the first ones in the US to actually import the 126. Oof, see me in lobbies. Oh man, I'm pretty hard. When we in D&D in, maybe sometime next week actually. I'll finally be free and have time. Man, I wonder if anyone remembers what's happening in our campaign. I remember what's happening, but I wrote it. So that's the easiest thing for me. We'll definitely have to do like a refresher kind of session. I remember what's happening in the campaign. I don't remember everyone's characters' names, though. You guys, you're in the courtyard after killing people right by a boat? No, that was the second to last session we did. The most recent session we did. We were in a tunnel. Remember that? Because you guys were investigating some stuff, and you found out some stuff. I'm not gonna spoil it. Oh yeah, I'll do it when we do the refresher. That was the second to last one we did. We just yeah, okay, yeah, things coming back to you now. And you guys made out like bandits. Anyone else in chat play D&D or any kind of tabletop RPGs? I think D&D has like been super taken off this last like what 2 years now. I know 50 has been super popular with things like Critical Role. I don't really follow D&D and media. I just know people are really into Critical Role, but how can you not be when you have like a baller DM like Matt Mercer and professional voice actors and actors as characters? Yeah, friends and I thinking about getting Fancy Grounds is pretty good. This one has a learning curve for the DM. But it's a really good system. My friends and I, we've been using Roll20, and that's mostly because I've been using Roll20 personally for like the last decade, so I'm just used to it. I do know like I do know the company behind Roll20 is kind of shitty. It's just like I can just hop on Roll20 and do whatever I want just because I'm so used to that system. I really should spend the time learning another platform. I really should. I should. Okay, where the dome's gonna stick. Let me get something. There's an artist maker who does a D&D on Twitch acting as their own character. That's awesome. Only reason for Fantasy Grounds is they went Unity. I've used Foundry before as well. Foundry is also pretty cool. For me, it's just like, man, there's stuff I think about because when I play, I usually DM something. Okay, what can I like do? Like, how easy or difficult is doing prep for whatever system I want to do? And for me, that's like the biggest determinant. because if anyone has ever done anything like that, prep can be a fucking pain in the ass, right? I'm sure even people who are just really into it and even just play as a normal PC, when you do a lot of your own prep, it can still be pretty intense. And then the DM has their own 18 tabs in the background to deal with of shit, but hey, it's fun. We do it because we love it. I think streaming D&D would be fun sometime. Unfortunately, most of my current group aren't really they don't have stream-friendly personalities. Most of them. I'll put it that way. Since if you want to like stream on like platforms like Twitch, right? There's a certain way, right? You can't. Certain people definitely aren't kind of cut out for that kind of stuff to a degree. Hey, you can interpret that as you will. I wonder if this is tall enough. Your D&D character name is Dumbledicker. Not that's fine. That's a perfectly okay character name for streaming D&D. If anything, that'd be a very popular character. Música, ¿dónde? Yeah. So these come in sheets of 4, so you will need to cut them to place them around where you need them. Quite a bit of it you can get away with, leaving it in sheets of 4, but not everywhere. Tempting you to try Topre. Topre's fun. I like Topre. I don't know if I'll like these domes. These domes feel really light under my fingers, like suspiciously light in terms of their weight. So I don't know if I'll like the pink one. The blue ones I actually do like a decent amount. I think the blue ones are fine. No Dremel. I haven't brought out the Dremel in some time. I should bring out the Dremel sometime. The people's Dremel, as I'd call it. Actually, let's. The Topre Ortho would be compatible. I mean, because you already use Ortho 40%, right, Sake? So for you, it'd be NBD. It comes unassembled, so all you do is lube up those sliders. If you want to swap domes, you can, but you can get it with the NIS 55 gram domes, or their 45 gram domes. Use everything, you don't know what you are anymore. Hey, it's good to be varied in what you're willing to try out in keyboards, It gives you new perspective. How do I like 40%? I typically don't like 40% unless it's an ortho 40% actually. I think most because most 40%s they usually they usually are, how do I describe it? Like they cut out like the apostrophe, they cut out like one of the closed bracket usually, right? And the reason they do that is that works for QWERTY. I don't type in QWERTY, I type in Dvorak. So as someone who types in Dvorak, those are keys that I actually don't want to lose. Those alpha keys. I don't want those to be put on layers, right? So most 40% layouts just don't work with me, and that's because I type in Dvorak, but Ortho does still. It doesn't matter where you orient the single domes, vertical or horizontal, it does. So on like the modifiers, let me see if I can give you a good zoom in and show you. Boop, 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 boop. So on the modifiers, you may, it's kind of hard to see, but you'll see that there's a little tab right here and a little tab up north right here too. And that demonstrates that for the modifiers, you need to make sure they are vertical, but for like a normal one, down here, you'll see the tabs are on the sides, right? And those are, the tabs between the domes. So for this one, it'd be horizontal. For this one, it'd be vertical. Typically, you're only doing the vertical for the shifts and enter and backspace. That's it. And you can actually even see that reflected in the OEM domes, where on the OEM domes you can see where it's these little things right here means this is technically vertical, but of course Novatouch is convenient because they manufacture as one giant sheet. Is that my Novatouch? Yes, it is my Novatouch. I love my Novatouch. So it's unlubed right now, but it does have the Deskey silencing rings. So I hope that helps out, Wit. Only reason you haven't gone to smaller form factors, losing brackets and apostrophes, can't do without them. Yeah, like certain people use certain keys because of their job or the kinds of things they type a lot. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to put commonly used things into a layer. For some people, works perfectly fine. No big deal, right? For others, maybe not so much. Okay. That was cut kind of bad, but that's okay. I kind of wish these were like perforated just a tiny bit. Like they do have a line on the back, but it's not perforated where you can like rip it. I don't think, at least I wouldn't do it confidently. But it's not too bad still. I'm using a utility blade, nice and simple. Nothing complicated. No Dremel today. 40s would be nice for like a hobby or like a workbench setup where like you're building and you're doing other stuff and you just happen to have a computer and a small screen. Like having like a 40 for my stream setup wouldn't be a bad idea actually. Wonder if your secondhand Novatouch doesn't have stock domes because they weren't one sheet. Are they this color? If they're this color, then it should probably be stock then. It may not be one sheet just because it depends on where it was manufactured. And when it was manufactured for Novatouches. You're swapping in your ultralight BKEs this weekend. They might go back to stock. Yeah, stock 45 grams are still like really nice. It's one of those things. It's if they're still this color, you're fine. They're not aftermarket. Yeah, certain manufacturing dates and times will have it like literally just one big old sheet. Like it's just a whole chunk. I have to take it off because I need all those springs. Yeah, yours also. Some people's are one big sheet. Some are like rows or like segments. Like some of my original Real Force 87Us, like the alphas are split in two chunks. Like this would be like one chunk, and this would be another chunk. So it just depends. Okay, I need 3 more. And then it's springtime. were Novatouch sought after when they first dropped. Never heard of them until you got into the Topre game. So, fun fact, Novatouches commercially did horrible. Absolutely, like, dog shit. They originally retailed for around $200 from Cooler Master. You know, you can get them on Amazon, Cooler Master's site, other big electronic places, Best Buy even, right? They sold poorly. They sold literally very, very poorly. About 6 months after they released, they did a permanent price drop to $150. And they stayed at $150 until their final 6 month of life, where they went down to about between $110 to $120. And then after that, they're just gone, because when they did that last price drop, they stopped production because it wasn't economically worth it for them to keep making Novatouches. But of course, at that time, people were still figuring out Novatouch sliders are the best sliders for MX Topre compatibility. And the Novatouch itself, when modded up, is still a fine keyboard, actually. There's a certain charm to it. Like, I have all my parts, so I can at any time take it out of the Norbatouch and put it back in its stock case, and I, with my own skill, make it an amazing board. It definitely has a charm to it that was definitely overshadowed at its time. Has to be a stack of them in a stock room out there? No, most places have already stole their excess stocks. CM should revive it themselves. They probably wouldn't. Talking to, I'm not going to say who, I talked to a CM rep, and they told me working with Topre was also a big pain in the ass. That also influenced their decision to not continue to pursue it further. Hello, KVS. Good to see you. I'm doing great. I hope you're doing A+ yourself. Okay. What's the purpose of the new domes? These is the Deskey's Deskey's attempt to try to replicate a BKE feeling. So, some of you may not know, what is this BKE? What are those 3 letters you speak of? Well, in 2010 and 11, Sony, through their line of linear video editors, released 2. It was like 3 boards that mainly had these domes, but there was the Sony BKE video editing keyboards. The Sony BKE 2010 and Sony BKE 2011 were the 2 most prominent keyboards that were from Sony, but manufactured by Topre. But very interestingly, that people who are into vintage stuff found out is, one, their first thing that they found out was like, what? These are these are like rubber domes, but they're Topre compatible. The keycaps fit. That's crazy. Wait a second. If the keycaps fit, we must use a similar slider. If we use a similar slider, maybe this is made by Topre after all. And after some digging, of course, the Sony BKEs were discovered to be manufactured by Topre. So like, wow, okay, we have all these extra domes, but wait a second. Why do these domes feel different? You might be wondering, how do they feel different? Well, the BKE domes have this very unique tactility to them. I would describe typically most Topre, you know, like this 45-gram sheet I have right here, as a very creamy kind of tactile. People who are into Topre, I've used Topre, will know what I mean when I say this is a creamy tactile. It's a nice, very nice creamy tactile experience. Whereas BKE was basically a Topre version of a Holy Panda. It was snappy, it was poppy, it was pretty intense. And the funny thing is, you know, the BKE Sony video editing keyboards, only a few of them were like TKL or full size. A majority of them were like under 60% sizing, because they only had keys for video editing. It wasn't like a normal keyboard. So most people would have to buy 2 of those, scavenge the domes to fill out their boards. And back in the day, that was like the shit. If you had a Realforce or a HHKB with BKE domes, like, people would scavenge internet BKE boards. Remember, you'd need sometimes up to 2 of them to fill your board, and each one could go for $300 each, right? So people were spending like $600 for domes. Like I said, never underestimate the dedication of people who are really into Topre. And so that became a big thing. Of course, the stock of trying to find them was extremely difficult, right? No one's going to want to buy $200 to $300 boards just for the domes. So years ago, Jay Chen of Keyclack found a manufacturer to make domes, which were the BKE Redux domes from Keyclack, which you can still buy right now on Keyclack. And then from there, people could experience a different version of BKE Tactility. I will say neither the BKE Redux by J-Chan or the Deskey domes perfectly replicates the true feel of BKE, but they provide a different kind of tactile experience people may be into. Well, that's part of the reason I want to review it. I want to take a look at it, and that's why I'm interested in it. Olivia, you still have a torn down BKE boards. Yeah, they're a pain to take out and work with too. Okay, so I need to take out this dome sheet. I feel so like. Oh, don't worry. People weren't looking. The video editors at that point had already moved on to non-linear video editing. They were like, why would I care about this BKE fucking console bullshit? This is the first time I'm peeling this dome sheet. It feels like heresy because it's losing all its perfect suction. Like you saw earlier when I took it out and I put it upside down, the dome sheet would not fall off. It had like perfect manufactured tolerance suction to the PCB, and you will never get that again once you take the dome sheet off. So, thank you, dome sheet, for your sacrifice today. So, and then, yeah, most people do prefer this 55-gram domes in general. I think 55-gram domes for me are still like, you know, the best of Topre domes. For the Keyclack ones, I really honestly only liked the light ones, the light BKE Redux domes. I do have a bag of ultralights right in front of me actually, on my other table. But someone whose Topre opinion is very similar to mine said he'll either absolute garbage, so I'm probably not going to talk about them or go over them. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Nebulant. Nebulant's late for you. What? We'll go to sleep, or don't. I'm not your parent, but what are you doing up? Are the 50 dams from the new Reforces the same as the ASMUs? I assume they are, Shinmaster. You know, I haven't actually used one in person since no meetups, and I have no willingness to buy one. So I don't know, but I assume so. Putting the BKE Extreme in your Novatouch was in. Yeah, dude. I didn't use my Norbaforce for so long because I had BKE Extremes in them, and I was just so lazy. That's why it wasn't until last stream I finally swapped those out. Is it possible to build a Topre board from parts now? Technical asterisk. Top housing still a problem. I mean, technically, everything but parts you can get from Niz is an issue. So Niz is another manufacturer that also makes their own electrocapacitive keyboards. So if you're wondering, the most technical term for all this is Topre is a company that makes electrocapacitive keyboards. Electrocapacitance is the mechanism in which the switch actuates. This board, we call it a Topre board, but in reality, if you do it by the switch type, it's an electrocapacitive board. Because like a Niz keyboard is also an electrocapacitive board that works with the same thing by having a PCB, by having springs, domes, and a slider. Everyone just calls them Topre or Topre-like or Topre clone because Topre was kind of the OG in how they did it this way. Of course, you can even say Topre wasn't even the original because this is just a rubber dome with extra steps. But that's what made them good, right? They're not like today's modern rubber domes where there's no capacitance in the way that a Topre PCB detects capacitance, and that's why it's special. And that's why it matters. Been using your Norbaforce the last week, loving it. High Pro and 55-gram wind keyless. Hell yeah. Do NIS boards use discrete switches? No, they might have some MX boards, but most of their boards that they try to market are essentially, you know, Topre clones, which are all electrocapacitive, just like the one I'm taking apart right now. When meetups are a thing, you're gonna find an HHKB. Would recommend. Should be very easy to find an HHKB at a meetup. I'm hoping that by the end of this year, meetups can be a real thing again. I hope. Fingers crossed. Know what I'm saying? The reason I'm doing this is, if you guys saw my last stream, I just used a magnet and I scooped up all the springs and a lot of them got tangled. I spent like half an hour trying to untangle conical springs, which are a pain in the ass. HHKBs, the newest models, are amazing out of the box actually. With like the original Pro, the Pro 2s, the last generation, I would say they actually weren't amazing out of the box. Those are boards where everyone was very much said, you know, you don't get the full experience until you lube it yourself, kind of thing. And while I still think, you know, lubing is still the best choice to do, even for the new ones, they're completely great still now out of the box. Like the new ones, the stabilizers don't rattle. They're actually like factory lube competently, which is wild. Yeah, the newest generation of Topre is good. My HHKB 3 is still in pieces because I'm waiting for Ryan Norbauer to ship me back my pieces that I sent him, so he could test out, you know, issues with the plate stuff. Thanks, Mr. Spaceman, so much for that tier 1 sub. Thank you, thank you. You can put stock domes back in your HHKB. Yeah, the Deskey ones definitely aren't as fatiguing. The blue ones are pretty light. They'd probably be... The blue ones in weight are pretty close to BKE lights, and I'm assuming these pink ones will be similar to BKE ultralights since they are lighter. But I will find out shortly. And extol my findings. How do I like? I really like Norbauer stuff. I definitely understand why it can be a lot of very hit or miss for people. It's definitely an extra luxury for Topre, right? All Topre for the most part, if you are willing to, you know, like lube it and do whatever small things you want to do to it, is completely A+ where it is. Norbauer products for like the aftermarket cases are the most truly, in the terms of keyboards, in terms of Topre, a true, like a luxury product, like a high-end class of luxury products, where like you don't need to get a heavy grail to make your HHKB good. Your HHKB will be, you know, super amazing, come here, you're my little PogChamp level greatness without a heavy grail. But if you have the money to spend and you want to change up your HHKB, that's when you get one, right? Or that's when you get a Norbaforce. But you don't need it to have a great Topre experience at all. I still need to lube my Norbauforce. I don't know why I skipped 3 domes over here. That's weird. No, the heavy grail will support Novatouch sliders, except for, actually, it will in entirety. You just have to get a drill. Get a drill. Here, let me grab my HHKB and let me show you. So, here's my HHKB. It's if you've been around, maybe you've seen this HHKB around, right? It's most commonly pictured with these high pro keycaps. I absolutely love. But before these high pro keycaps were in, Novatouch sliders existed in this board. And you might be wondering, if you have a Novatouch, if you have a HHKB, how is that possible, right? How do the stabilizers go down? Well, there was an earlier time of Huey. People think Huey Dremel is just a small meme, but just if you want to Novatouch your heavy grail, get an extra plate, because you will need to drill through the plates for the stab inserts for your MX switches. Otherwise, they'll just hit the top housing. Drill, baby, drill, as Evelyn said. So yes, I drilled my shift. I drilled my enter, right? Those are the things you have to do if you want to have an MX compatible HHKB. And I'll show you on the housings I have for the Novatouch how they develop their own housings to make it MX compatible. Okay, domes. Getting more high pro variants would be very nice, but high pro is no longer in production, unfortunately. So any high pro that exists now are all the high pros that, as far as we know, will ever exist, which is kind of sad, right? Yeah, high pro is also something that Topre has axed. I know there's someone who resin casts high pro. I want to get a set of the resin cast high pro. Hopefully this coming weekend I can buy a pair. Sweet, you still need to get Novatouch sliders for your Novatouch? Yikes. High Pro, it's like its own custom profile. It's absolutely amazing. For like purely typing, like not playing games, but like purely typing, High Pro is my favorite profile. Actually, MT3 took some inspiration from High Pro. It took inspiration from both High Pro and Beam Spring. Fun facts. Okay. Let's mate these together and screw everything in. Everything looks as aligned as I care to have it aligned right now. MT3 is dope. I just wish it wasn't DORP exclusive. Oh, did I say DORP? I meant drop. I wish it wasn't exclusive from these folks here. Come on, cat, screw. You're not online? No, you're not. Is there any chance you can find Idiot's Real Force set? Look hard enough. I have a set. I was lucky. One dome is slightly out of alignment already. Shit. Yeah, there's some sus dome material peeking out, but that's mostly because I cut it very poorly. They sound fine though. They feel fine. Let me tighten them and see how they turn out. No, just Topre's just kind of a pain in the ass to work with sometimes. That's why I tell everyone, like, electric screwdriver is kind of the move you want to make for Topre. Even getting like a cheap wow stick is a good idea. Yeah, ES 121 is definitely one of the I would say it used to be the best like mini electric screwdriver. I have the ES 126, the newest one, which is stronger and has a light if I want to use it, but I don't because I just waste battery and it's not dark where I'm using it right now. Because I have these studio lights around me, kind of making things, you know, bright. You have a WoW 6? Yeah, WoW 6 are, yeah, you know, if you've used a WoW stick, they're, yeah, they just don't have that much torque to them. Like, usually you still have to, like, manually start or unstart any kind of screw yourself. So, they're just not super amazing. Thank you, Nebula. That's the link where I got mine. They're not available on Amazon yet, so this is the first site I found in the US that's carrying them. That's the reason I went with them. One of really early streams, I didn't have an electric screwdriver, and people would watch me do this by hand. It's so painful to watch someone doing this manually. I just push a button, twist my wrist slightly, and it does the job for me. I mean, a WoW stick would be enough for like this, the you know, to put in back all the screws for a Topre board, but for everything else, not really great. Is it time to open the monster? I think it's time. Oh, let me finish my Kirkland lemonade. You've been doing assembly work for years. You refuse to get a WoW stick? Yeah, good. Well, WoW sticks are kind of shit, so you're better off anyways. Just get a quality tool to begin with. Especially something as like ubiquitous and useful as a freaking screwdriver. Someone should design a Torx replacement kit for all these screws. Okay, let's see if I messed up anywhere. You can feel when Topre domes are off. Nope. Looks like they're fine. Okay, let's put it back in the case and we're done. JST connector. Bada bing, bada boom. Slots in this tray. We grab screws, which means I need to change from Phillips to hex. Is this the right one or is it too big? Yep, it is the Aperture finish, the lovely Aperture finish. Interesting music we're listening to. This is a prototype Aperture. This is the first Norbauer Aperture board, and this was a prototype for him to find out if he'll want to do this in the future. And from this one he made me, he said, you know what? I think I will. So, a funny story on how this finish kind of came to be. So I was visiting Ryan when he lived in NorCal still, and you know Ryan's like, Huey, I want to give you a Norbatouch. I'm like, wow, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. And he brought out this powder coat like color, this little like this. It was like 200 powder coat colors I could choose from. And he's like, yeah, choose any color you want, Huey, and I'll get your Norbaforce, your Norbauer powder coat, any of these colors that you wanted. I looked through it for like 20 minutes. I'm like, Ryan, just choose for me. He's like, well, if you want me to choose for you, okay, I'm gonna think of something. And then you know the next day he's like, Huey, I want to try out this new finish. Can I make yours in this finish I want to try out? If you don't like it, I'll totally redo it. But I want to try out this new finish to see if it'll turn out good. And I might offer it in like, at the time he was working on the Heavy 6. I'm like, yeah, go for it. If it's good, it's good. And this is the story of the first ever Ryan Norbauer Aperture finish board. Well, thanks for attending my TED Talk. Yeah, it's an amazing finish. What's the reason we have an external spring on Topre boards? Oh, the external spring for the spacebar is just to help the spacebar return better, as it is a heavier keycap. That's it. Only problem with the chrome finish grail is you remodel the whole room around it. Just got to tell your interior designer I want something modern concepts. Yeah, Future Huey's has a lot of Topre lubing ahead of him. So yeah, this board isn't lubed at all, so it's not going to sound amazing. But I'm not here to test if it sounds amazing. I'm here to test if it feels amazing. Maybe we should put some nicer keycaps on. These are OEM keycaps. These are OEM Cyrillic keycaps from Cooler Master. That came with this board, because this board was a Novatouch marketed for Russia. The stabilized stabs will clack like crazy with the GMK keys. Oh, when you lube them appropriately, I think they're fine. Fin, Quattro, right arrow, key, down arrow, Del, Q. Personally, I love the HHKB layout. It is one of my favorites. But yeah, it is not for everyone. That is a very true thing. Okay, should I get the other board with Deskey domes I have out and do a side-by-side comparison? Does that sound like a plan, Stan? Okay. Let me get the heavy girl. And the Monster Energy time. I forgot. It is Monster Energy time, everyone. Okay. Has like a sunburst effect with the light, which makes it look really nice, right? Because you can see how like the color kind of like reflects with the light. It's a custom 1 of 3 color. Only 3. I think only, yeah, this is 1 of 3 in this color that exists. It's not anodizing, it's powder coat actually. Yep, it's actually powder coat, yeah. Because a powder coat can have rough textured finishes like this. And they can have, you know, nice uniform finishes like this. A local shop in California did the powder coat. Ryan has all the powder coat done in America, in California actually. All these boards are now, you know, all Ryan's boards are now made in America. I mean, of course, the pinks up here are definitely lighter. I think the light blues have more character that I like. The total magnitude of the bump isn't as large as the BKE Redux, which I think some people will appreciate. Yeah, Ryan's attention to detail is absolutely unreal. He's probably one of the highest attention to detail of anyone, any human I know. Yeah, Deskey domes, pretty good. Where do you come down on breaking in Topre domes for lubing? You don't need to break in Topre domes for lubing because you don't lube the domes. You lube the sliders. So the domes will break in as long as you use them. So you can lube them day 1. You can lube them day 1,000,000. It won't affect the break-in at all because it's a different component that has the wear compared to the component that creates the tactility. So if you're adamant on lubing right away, as soon as you get your Topre board, just lube when you have free time. Did I try the BKE Extreme domes? Yes, I have. They used to be in this board right here. In my last stream, I actually took them out of this board. I hate the BKE Extremes. They're pretty poopy. Pretty poopy. Then lube your HHQB for years and love. Yeah, a ton of people just use your HHQBs completely stock and it's fine. Thoughts on BKE heavies? I used to have them in the original build that was in this board. I like them a little bit at first, but they are fatiguing for me for a long typing session. So I ended up not really being a huge fan of them. And thank you, Ramen Champ, for that tier 1 sub. Thank you. So Ken over the keyboard and light should have opted for the extra $100 for a custom finish. It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, even if you turn off the main key, up top key. So here's a bit darker. So here's probably more realistic of how you'd actually see it. Not having, just a giant light blasting from up top. This is how it'd also be. Another look at it. Probably more in focus if I have it here. It's very coppery, right? When it's not in super bright light, it's a bit more coppery, which is still think looks great with the set. What am I listening to? I feel like I'm ready to do a heist in a cartoon. Yeah, Deskey domes. Feels good. I have a new key set. Should I put on my new key set somewhere? You guys want to see my new key set? It came in the mail. It has arrived. I got the CRP Xerox set from Dorp. Where do I put this? Should I try this on the touch? On the touch of Novas? Or should I grab another board and put it on? I don't know, this is a pretty classy look, right? With the OEM set. This is Benny Hill, isn't it? I wish it was Benny Hill. This is royalty free at least. Ba-na-na-na-na. Where am I putting these keycaps? That's a real question. On one of these two on like this board or a different board, I don't know. I'll have the full review of the domes out on either Saturday or Sunday, so keep an eye out for that video coming up as a heads up. I mean, it doesn't have to be this board too. I can pull out other boards to put the keycaps on too. But if you guys want to see it on this board, we can definitely do that right now. What do y'all think? Do y'all think this board, or should I try to grab a different board and we can play around with them? Maybe this one, because is that and both of these are both Norbauer boards. You need a new keyboard? I always need a new keyboard. That's my problem. So much dust on my A10 Mini. Gosh. I'm sorry, Jay. You don't want to spend the money that my keyboards are worth. Just go to Novel Keys and buy some switches, and then buy the new NK65 they have available. How much are yours? I mean, like this closest one I have right here. How much are the Norbauforce, everyone? Does anyone remember how much Norbaforce was? Way too many people ahead of him. That's true. Oh, how much this plastic one is? This little one right here. This smaller one is the most expensive board on my table right now. Fun fact: the HHKB I have is my most expensive board on this table. It'd be a toss-up if it's actually my most expensive board, but it's either number 1 or number 2 for most expensive boards. Oh, was it a Norbauer offered finish, the bottom one? No, it was a custom finish. Yeah, it was a custom finish. It wasn't like one of the stock options you could choose from his sites. Looks great though, right? It was done at the same factory that that they did all of the other Norbaforces for the powder coating. Same factory. Yeah, it was a custom finish option. Yeah, it's kind of coppery. when you don't have like direct light on top of it. You just pay your ex $935 to sign her off of your lease. Oof. That's all I gotta say to you, bro. Oof. Sake's with me too. Okay, new girls on release, big chillin'. Okay, solid. You subbed the new one in. You've reached equilibrium. Why is the HHKB my most expensive board? It's because of the keycaps. If you're wondering, I have been offered 4 digits for these keycaps before. Like, I was in person. I was actually offered, like, Kiwi, I will buy these keycaps for you right now for $X000 if you sold these to me right now. I'm like, nope. And that was just for the keycaps, by the way. Just for the keycaps. Yeah, they're nice. So these are the these keycaps are the Just Systems High Pro keycaps that were in a limited run of Just Systems full-size boards. And the reason mine are expensive because the Just Systems boards, they're also JIS layouts, which means I had to use another High Pro board, the ANSI one, in order to get the proper enter key and spacebar. So this board is actually 2 High Pro sets combined into one. FYI. I did not do the hair flip at the time because my hair used to be short. Fun facts. This going on right here is going on 1 year now without being cut, actually. 1 year as of this week. Fun fact. My last haircut was actually around the 3rd week of January. Cut off all your hair, Jay? Again? Nice. You don't have it long down the front center anymore? I know your sides. You had your sides super short. Hair looking smooth. Ooh, I need more conditioner in my hair. I want to cut my hair soon. Actually, probably gonna be really short again, like it used to be. What's my ROI if I sold it at 4K? Almost 4K. The Just Systems keycaps I have, I bought at price, like at retail price. Fun fact. Let me show you. I kept a memento for the box. Here we go. The Topre box card. It was technically the Realforce 108 UW-High Pro model number ZH0300. I'm actually not that good at getting expensive keycaps. I'm actually pretty bad at it. But at the same exact time, like, keycap inflation was a big thing because when I don't know why I'm saying anymore. When these keycaps ran, when they're sold retail, it wasn't actually a really big deal. Because at the time, High Pro wasn't really a big thing, it wasn't in, and no one thought High Pro would be discontinued. So now, this key set has a double whammy of 1, being extremely aesthetic and popular, and 2, no longer ever being in production. I just was in the right place at the right time. And I knew someone who was a Japanese proxy who could buy it for me. That was it. That was it. Helps me likable. I have a few friends. For example, okay, right time, right place. Okay, for example, let me pull a board that used to cost $45, but now costs $300. And I'll go over my Deskey. Someone asked about how I felt about the Deskey because I missed it. I'll go over that in a second. So this right here, pretty old school. It is not that old school. It's new in box actually, so it's a great condition. It's the Ping Master. People who've been in the Ping Master may realize. Look, it even has the original instructions. This is how new in box it is. Okay. Even with the original IBM anti-static bag. Okay. Beautiful. New in box condition. Okay. On eBay, there used to be a seller. For the last 4 years, he sold these boards for about $45 to $65 shipped anywhere in the US. And he just ran out like a year ago. He just ran out a year ago, and now the prices have gone up to $300. But for literally 4 years, anyone could buy these for like 65 bucks, 50 bucks shipped. And $50 for so long, and everyone has slept on it. You can actually get a Hasu controller to convert this to USB as well. You can convert it to USB, okay? The greatest thing is, right? It has a speaker and it has a volume rocker. So you can actually, when you type, it'll go beep, 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 beep if you enable it. 250 now. Yeah, it's like 250 to 300. Vinkeys knows. We talk about this shit in places, right? Like, this used to be like 50 bucks. What year is this from? Oh, right, I have like extra legends too. This used to be from... It has no year on it. I'd have to open it up and look at the PCB. It doesn't even have words. So no, I don't know what year this is from. Yeah, it's a cool board, right? Okay, I'm gonna put this away, and I'll talk about how I feel about the Deskeys. The full review will be out either on Saturday or Sunday, though. Let's put it back in the OG IBM anti-static bag, everyone. I mean, this seller basically found, like, a freaking warehouse of them. Literally, like I said, he's been selling these for like 50 bucks each for 4 to 5 years. Just selling them. And finally, one day, a year ago on his eBay, you know, on eBay, if you guys go on eBay a lot, you guys will sometimes do items, sellers with multiple items will be like 6 remaining, 5, right? Have a number remaining. At one point, it was like 59 remaining, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's just gonna update that number." That number just kept going down. It kept going down. 59, 58, 57. Then it went down to 18, 17, 16, 15. Everyone's like, he's gonna restock, right? 8, 7, 6. Oh, he's gonna restock, and he's probably gonna put a new listing. Maybe he's low, and he's gonna put a new listing and raise the prices again, right? 3, 2, 1. This item is no longer available from this seller. 1 week later, is he gonna restock? What happened? Is he gonna restock? Where is it? He's had these boards forever, and people message him. I'm out. I finally got rid of all of them. They're all gone. I sold every single last one. Took years. And everyone everyone's like, what? Everyone slept on it because they thought it was limitless. They thought, how can you run out of Ping Masters? Everyone has seen Ping Masters sold for years and years and years. How can you run out of Ping Master? When I started the hobby, Ping Masters were $50. The next year, I got into customs. They were still $50. A year after that, I was getting into custom modding switches and starting to dabble into vintages. They were still $50. And now they're like over 250 to 300 each. And this was not like a FOMO situation because people had years to buy this, right? I'm going to pack this up nicer later. Okay, back to the Deskeys once I put this away. Deskeys. How do I feel about keys of Des? How do I feel about the domes? So, on the Norbatouch, I have the pink domes, and on the Norbauer, I have the lake blue domes. How do I feel? Of course, if you don't know, the pink domes we see here are a lighter weight than the blue domes we see here. How much weight difference? About 10 grams difference. Not too much. Not too much. How do they feel? Well, they both feel pretty good. I think, personally, the Lake Blue has a bit more character. So, on this HHKB, the reason I have it out as well, is the HHKB I have right here has the BKE Redux Lights by Keycap by J-Chan. Okay? And this has been, for the most part, the standard. Unless you're going for the actual original standard, which was BKE. You go back earlier in the stream, I talked about the history of BKE domes, and how we got to how we got to these domes here today. That history section will be in the review, because what's a Huey review without a history section attached to it? Review coming out Saturday or Sunday. Maybe I should stop doing weird history shit in my videos. But initial impressions is I do like the blues a bit more. I'm still working on better words to phrase it, but for me right now, the Lake Blues have a bit more character to them, a bit more substance. I think the pinks for me are a bit too light, but of course this is initial impressions. It might change after, I type on the Norbatouch for a bit longer, right? Get a bit more comfortable with the keyboard under my fingertips. And really adjust and grow with it and see how I feel. And I'll probably switch keycaps as well. These are the OEM keycaps for my Norbauer. Are either of them close to 30 grams in lightness? The pinks are probably close to like 35 to 40 grams, but the bump makes it feel a little more. But they are pretty light. The blues are definitely closer to like between 45 and 50. Technically closer to 45, but that, like I said, it's one of those things where the BKE bump, that BKE bump and thump, is it definitely always makes the board feel a bit heavier than it actually is because of the snappiness of that tactility. It does definitely have a kind of BKE quality to it and the snappiness of the tactility. It's much less binary than the BKE Redux, but especially if you had any of the BKE Redux in medium, heavy, or extremes, it was basically like an on-off switch, right? But if you had the lights or possibly the ultralights, it didn't have a super sharp drop-off. It was pretty consistent, pretty good feeling throughout. These also are pretty decent throughout. Doesn't have a sharp drop-off. It's sharper on the blues, of course, than the pinks. The pinks drop off is pretty gentle from the bump, so if you don't want a super big bump, but you still want slightly more than the creaminess of 45 grams, the pink might be a good option for you. The blues definitely give a bit more oomph to them. I'm gonna sit down again. So yeah, any other questions I can hopefully try to answer about these? Trying to help you all out with my first impressions, and any other questions you have in general, I'll try to answer too. Someone asked about the HHKBs. You like it said any preference between the Pro 2 and Pro 3, which heavy grill do they get? If they're both stock, a Pro 3 is going to be better every day of the week now because now it comes with a PBT spacebar. Now it comes with properly lubed stabs that aren't rattly, and it's USB-C. And I got the Rusty Steel Heavy Grail. Should we switch keycaps? Do you guys want to see some CRP Xerox on this puppy? Will it turn out good? What do y'all think? Or will it turn out bad? Some PBT action going on? In terms of soup, how would you describe 45 gram versus 55 gram? Chicken soup and the corn bisque. No. Let me think. No, that's for these two. But for 45 and 55, that's tough. I haven't had corn bisque in so long. What do you think about the Leopold 660 compared to other Topre boards? I think it's pretty outdated. I think you should only get it if you like that layout. That's it. I think it's just at a weird place right now. Like, I think it needs to get a refresh, kind of like the HHKB, where keep the same stuff, just make the case better, make make it less rattly. It's still decent build quality. I think because HHKB stepped up the game, I think the 660C should also step up the game to 2021. But it's not a bad board. It's just not one I would prefer or recommend anymore, unless you are into that layout. That's the key thing about that board. Otherwise, you know, get a big board. If you want a big Topre board, the Leopold 980C is like, mwah, that's a board. Now that's a board. That's a board. So, do you think CRP Legends are good? Does anyone have CRP? Anyone think CRP turned out well? Wait a second. Hold up. 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 I need to look something up. I'm not crazy, right? Look at that keycap and tell me if I'm crazy or not. Am I crazy? I can't be crazy. I can't be this crazy. Do you guys see what I'm looking at? I might just be crazy. I need to do a sandy check. Okay. Okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, cool. Cool. We're fine. We're fine. Ignore me. We're fine. We're fine. Ignore me. Oh, okay. Okay. Colorful. Right? What do you think? Does the gray work with the case? I don't know if the color works. I don't know. What do y'all think? Yay or nay? What dost thou say? Seems too light. Which are actually gray caps, not beige. Yeah, they're like... Yeah. Too light. Yep. Nay. Okay. And nay has been spelled out. Yeah, I'm overall pretty how do you lose keycaps? You don't have fully secured Ziploc baggies. But yeah, both Deskey boards I am pretty happy about. So I will be having a cool board stream coming up this weekend, and I'll actually have a cool board next weekend as well with a guest. Yes, a guest will be joining me next week, but for this weekend we'll be doing a cool board on keycap sets. So join me this weekend for that, as well as the review on the Deskey domes. Next weekend I'll be doing a cool board episode with a special guest to be announced soon, since I'm trying to collab, you know, that stream as well as another collab stream with this content creator, so you know we can both appear on each other's respective channels and, you know, have fun and collab stuff like that. So keep your eye out for that. I will also have other cool board episodes with other guests coming up. Aside from this review, I got a lot of Switch reviews that I got to start chewing through and working on. You know, I have, oh my god, what do I have? I got like Gateron cap switches, which are, have you guys seen these switches? They're so interesting. I'm gonna show these off before I leave. Oh my god, this section is stuck in. Don't do this to me. Oh my god, why is it little? Don't be like this. Plugged in HD, you want to put it back to stock? Stock with lube or like dry stock? Does Deskey have a dome sampler? I don't know. Nevin, would you like me to send you the some like a spare, like a couple domes of each? If they don't have a sampler, I could possibly, you know. How is this attached? Forgotten. Yes, okay. I don't want like domes of Switch to freaking fly out everywhere. But look, these switches have little poop chutes. These are the new Gateron cap switches. I don't know if PR's still here, but he was asking me about these. I'll be doing a review on these. These are linears. Yeah, don't expect me to send them for like a week or so, because I'm kind of busy with a lot of stuff. And you know what? You hear that? What's that sound like? That sounds like decent switches out of the factory. Take years. Like, do you guys think these are lubed in factory? I think they're lubed in factory. Wanna find out? Oh yeah. Oh, these are heavily lubed in factory. That's why. Ha! I just got a freaking smattering of lube on my finger. These are actually pretty. Honestly, for stock, for like out of the factory lube switches, so far my hand and on this little switch tray that they come in, sounds decent, and they actually feel decent. I'm probably just gonna build these without touching them myself. Yours has lube on the trays overflowing. I don't think none of mine look overflowing, but I opened one and I got like a smattering of lube on my finger, which is quite a bit, but. These could have potential. The funniest thing is, this is marked yellow, 3-pin. These are obviously 5-pin switches, though. So whoever's at the factory doing their QC is just slacking. Okay, just slacking, slack-a-lacking. I didn't even mark the right things. That's worrying, because it was done manually with a Sharpie. Someone manually goes boop. So someone is actually like fucking up at their job, which is to label the switches properly, and they don't have to write it. They just have to Sharpie the right things. Boop boop. Okay. Well, that's going to be the stream for today. Any last questions as I finish my monster? Or comments, or suggestions, or information in general? If you haven't, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Link down below. Most of my content is, YouTube content. I do stream. I try to stream at least once a week. I'm not, the most consistent, big time, streamer or anything. But I do still like to do streams when I can. I like to do videos mostly. So, consider following me, subscribe to me on YouTube. Ring a ding ding. Lubed versus unlubed Topre. Lubed Topre. That's my answer. I don't see any time when unlubed Topre would beat lubed Topre. Take care, Sake. Thanks so much for joining in today. It's okay, Dewey. You can catch the VOD. Just put it on the background while you work or something later on. But yeah, check out my review for the Deskey domes coming out sometime this weekend to youtube.com/man-of-interests near you. Once again, thank you everyone so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next stream or video. Toodaloo.